feel like reacting to things on the internet, which I have done for 4 years straight at this point, it used to be more fun. It used to be free and freewheeling, and now every day when I sit behind this microphone, I'm constantly worried about offending people on my own side, on my own political side, not saying the right thing. I'm just over it. Can things not just be funny anymore? Can we not just touch some grass and laugh at things without it being the end of the world? Can I not just be entertained by things that go on the internet? Because what happened in Miami this weekend with all of the Manosphere streamers, that was my reality TV. All right, now you might be able to tell by the sound of my voice, but we had the plague this week. Very few things brought me more genuine wheezing laughter than this collection of streamers taking Nick Fuentes to a club in Miami. And do not worry, everyone is already busy condemning it. Now, before we get into what happened and all of the responses, make sure that you like this video and subscribe to the channel if you are not already. And of course, if you want to stay up to date on all of the things we are doing on the channel and every new episode, make sure to ring that notification bell. This whole streaming endeavor weekend, guys weekend, it was like a glorified bachelor party, but for the Manosphere of streamers. And it all took place on Clavicular's stream on Kick. If you don't know who Clav is, Clavicular, I have a video about him. Batshit crazy, like crazy story. If you don't know who he is, you can go watch that. Clavicular somehow assembled the Avengers of the Manosphere. He got the Tate brothers, he got Fresh and Fit, he got Sneeko, he got Nick Fuentes, and a gaggle of women that you would expect to see on the Whatever podcast. He got them all together in Miami. And if that sounds like a fever dream to you, it basically is. Imagine me having a fever, watching all of this transpire. I thought I was hallucinating. They started this whole night, this like guys weekend, Saturday night at a pregame at this mansion that I think was provided by one of Andrew Tate's friends. This was all of them walking in the door. Like this whole thing was being filmed. The boys walking in. You see the cameras back there. They're on the water. Oh, there's the ladies lined up by the water, just ready for these streamers to walk in and greet them. And that clip was posted and somebody said, this looks like a scene out of a mafia movie. And then somebody else reposted that and said, the gay father, which was very funny. I have to admit, I laughed a lot. One of the comments said, I can never forget the famous line from that movie, "You come to me on the day of my alpha male child's Hitler clubbing night." I literally, when I read that this morning, I laughed so hard that snot came out of my nose. That's about where we're at right now. The whole first part of this streaming weekend at this pregame, it was like Clavicular, like being the new kid on the block, the new Manosphere protege trying to prove himself to everyone, meeting his Manosphere sages. There's this moment where he tries to sound cool. He's like rizzing up, flirting with this girl, and he literally straight up just tells her that he does meth. Just watch.
When I get drunk, I get retarded. So.
Aren't you about to go to the club?
Yeah, but I usually don't drink.
Oh, what do you do?
Meth,
Oh, straight to the point.
you know? You guys ever do meth?
No, Clavicular. Normal people do not do meth. All of the other older guys, they're giving him advice like how to date or not date women.
Saying,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
date. I don't take bitches to dinner.
I never.
Ever.
Yeah,
Ever.
Yeah, bitch.
I don't know if there's like a thought going through his head. It's like, I don't take bitches to dinner. And he's like, oh, yeah, definitely not. What? What is going on?
The only dinner a woman will ever go to with me is when I'm meeting other men. But like a one-on-one dinner with a girl is a mistake and a waste of fucking time and money.
3 hours of fucking
Right.
garbage.
How are these not two over-the-top caricatures that you see in like a weird comedy movie? These are not the lead characters. These are the odd supporting characters that are written so over the top to just like elevate the rest of the comedy. That is this scene right now. This is what we're watching. There's another moment where the same guy and Tristan Tate were telling Clavicular to not get invested in hoes, which you think, okay, maybe that's some good advice, you know, don't get invested in hoes. But then they also say this.
I DM them, think they ain't gonna come with me. Those side chicks aren't yours. Oh, those are hoes. They don't belong to you. Don't put a flag on them. Don't claim them. They're for the streets. Yeah. So I still fuck them. Yeah, of course.
Classy. Love that for sure. Now, by the way, the guy in that video with Tristan Tate, his name is Justin Waller. On comment section, I once made fun of him for his suits and his pants being way too tight, which I stand by that. They are far too tight, Justin. I will always say that, but I'm pretty sure that I ran into him after the fact and he was very nice and considerate. I think that he did Michael Knowles' show or something and Michael was like, Brett, you gotta come see Justin. And I was like, oh my God, I literally was just crapping on this man for how tight his suits are. They are far too tight. Anyway, the whole stream to me was just more evidence that Clavicular, as this new social media figure and young man that he really has no ideas or core values. He is just there mogging. Like, the only thing that this man thinks about is looks maxing. Like, his brain must be damaged from like hitting himself in the face with a hammer and doing meth. Just look at his face when Tristan Tate tried to talk about politics with him.
I said I was gonna vote for Gavin Newsom because he mocked JD Vance. You know what I mean? I called JD Vance a fat subhuman.
I heard that, and I would advise you that you're wrong. However, you're an American, and I'm an American, so I don't tell other Americans who to vote for. I never have. You vote for whoever you like. But if Gavin Newsom's running against JD Vance, I will be voting for JD Vance, and that's my vote, and you can do it with yours.
Now, the reason why this clip is so funny to me is because it starts off with Clavicular like thinking that he's going to have this mic drop moment. He's smirking, he's like, they're gonna love this. Yeah, I went viral for saying that Gavin Newsom mogged JD Vance, and that's why I voted for him. And then Tristan's like, no, that is an absolutely idiotic idea. Say what you will about Tristan Tate, but he is absolutely in the right here. And he's like, no, as an American, I will vote for American interests, which would be JD Vance, not Gavin Newsom. And just like in the clip, if we zoom in, you can just watch Clavicular, the confidence like drain from his face. He's like, oh. But he's still trying to, you know, keep up appearances. And then Justin joins in and echoes what Tristan's saying, and then it's just over for him. And this type of thing just kept happening throughout the night. When they were on this party bus, which we'll talk about later, Sneeko and Fuentes, they were talking about their content, and they pushed back on Clavicular doing content with OnlyFans girls. And the moment they pushed back, he just folded. He stands for nothing. Just watch.
You know, people will say, oh, you're promoting OF wars. It's like, if you don't have the willpower to not buy a fucking porn subscription, that's just on you, okay?
Okay, he thinks he has a mic drop moment. He's looking over at the camera and he's like, if you don't have the willpower, that's on you. And then just watch.
It's not the greatest
Silence.
responsibility for people being dumbasses.
You agree?
Yeah, I mean, I agree it's not your fault that people are buying it, but I do think the content with OF girls is like inherently promoting it.
Yeah, I know.
He literally folds immediately. He folds immediately. Nick is like, yeah, I'm not going to be on camera saying that that's a good thing. And Clavicular, after having this mic drop moment, smirking at the camera, you know, mogging, mewing, whatever he's doing, he's immediately like, yeah, no, you're right, I probably shouldn't do that. He is the small puppy in this live stream. He is the protege. He is desperate to win the approval of the Tates, of the Justin Wellers, of Nick Fuentes, all of those things. All right, now I kind of got off track with the whole Clavicular thing, but this actually is a good segue because from there, the boys, the bachelor party, their selection of women, they get on that party bus and they go to the club, which I'm sorry, just seems like so awful and nasty. Kill me if I am ever found in that environment. That is the last place on earth I would ever want to be. This is what was happening. Club culture to me is just like apocalyptic. They're in a VIP space, which should be nicer, and yet they're still packed in like sardines. They're screaming over each other. There's flashing lights. There's women, they're just standing around looking at their phones. Nobody's dancing. Andrew Tate in some of these videos, like he honestly like looked a little embarrassed. Stop pretending that this is an enjoyable, fulfilling, fruitful way to spend a Saturday night. I can smell the vodka and the vape smoke from here. Clips from there started going viral as well, and people online were obviously entertained because they're going viral, people are commenting, they're talking about it, but no one really seemed to think that this was admirable or aspirational, understandably. Like somebody posted and said, what the F happened to this country? Nothing about this scene is a win for America, which I would agree. We have Groiper incels standing clustered like wallflowers at a high school dance looking awkward and out of place. Everyone looks bored and out of their minds, masking their boredom by vapes, pills, or endless phone checking, which it does sum up a lot of modern young Americans. Watch that video again. All of the girls, they're just standing there scrolling on their phones. You're out in public, apparently socializing, and yet you're standing in this loud, obnoxious, disgusting, sticky floor environment, literally just scrolling on X, scrolling through your DM, seeing who liked your selfie in your like half-naked dress. It's just gross. And the commenters agreed, even in regards to like the men being there. This guy said, no substance, all ego and facade. All of those people need a camera with all eyes on me, but when it comes down to being authentic, he said, I don't know, I feel like Sneaky is the only one that seems authentic. Andrew Tate is such a goober. I wonder if Andrew Tate would be offended by somebody calling him a goober. It's not even like an aggressive critique, it's just like, you're a goober, sir. And the funny thing is, like, the one person who stood out in the stream was Nicholas J. Fuentes because he looked so out of place in that environment. Somebody commented and said, weirdly enough, Nick being kind of awkward and clearly not wanting to be there makes him the only one who comes off decent there. The rest of the guys are supposed to be these red-pilled rebels, but they clearly desperately want to be involved in the douchiest aspects of club culture, which is true. You're like rebels, you're these like masculine bros, but you're desperately hoping to be perceived as cool, and you're using a Miami club to do that. And you'll probably argue and be like, you're cool, you're talking about me. Yes, you went viral, but again, is that actually a measure of coolness? Is this something that other people should aspire to do? Are you actually happy? Like, take the likes and the attention and the clicks and the hoes out of the scenario. Are you actually happy? The only person on camera who wasn't pretending to be super into it was Fuentes, who doesn't drink, he doesn't do drugs, who is abstinent, he's a virgin. He was the only relatable one there because of how obviously out of place he was, which made the entire thing so genuinely hysterical. People despise him. They hate him. They are like drooling out of their mouths out of anger. And I'm like, can we just like stop for a second and look at these clips, because they are objectively funny. This entire weekend was basically 40-year-old virgin, but instead of Steve Carell, it was Nick Fuentes.
Who wants penis cake? You guys, steady cocker.
They kept trying to hook Nick up with the ladies, and he just kept resisting. Watch this clip.
Yo, Nick, I'm gonna bring some girls over for you.
Please don't. I'm good.
He's like standing there with his Red Bull, not drinking, and he's like, please don't. Like, I really do not want that. Please don't. I am good. This guy posted and said, yo, Nick, I'm gonna bring some ran through bitches over. Absolutely not.
Would you prefer a male companion?
Now, funnily and very par for the course, the usual attacks immediately started flowing. You know, the clip went viral and people started calling Nick a loser. And it actually seemed very coordinated. Like Harry Sisson posted and said, it's hilarious how all of these MAGA groypers claim to be alpha males. And then when it's time to talk to a woman, they completely fold. Fuentes said, please don't, I'm good, LMAO. And then Dean Withers, who I'm sure you guys have seen on TikTok and YouTube, he basically copied Harry Sisson's post word for word and said, it's so funny how it's always the self-proclaimed alpha males that fold the moment they have to talk to a woman. Stay in the basement, bro. I'm sorry, gentlemen, but maybe, just maybe, Nick Fuentes does not want to be like Harry and get into a sexting scandal. You guys might have forgotten about that Harry had a little situation after getting a little too many women on his Snapchat roster. Miami club rat hoes are not worth the risk. That is common sense that you apparently lacked, Harry Sisson. All right, anyway, moving on from that, the next night, so this is on Saturday night, then on Sunday night, the three amigos, so Clavicular and Sneeko and Nick, they decide to go out again, but this time, they're not going to the club. They're having a classy dinner. They've got wine glasses in front of them. They're kind of continuing the whole, like, gay father mafia theme, because Sneeko and Fuentes literally look straight out of the movie Scarface, like Tony Montana and Sosa, you can see right here. I would love to know, I'm asking genuinely, like, did you boys like coordinate your outfit? I genuinely have to ask because I am a female. I remember seeing clips because both of you went to Kanye's Thanksgiving and you were like texting about what you were gonna wear. Did you go out and you're like, we're gonna do Scarface tonight? And was Clavicular your Manny Rivera or whatever his name is? I have a picture pulled up here. Like, this is the 1983 version of mogging. Also, this clip of them going to dinner or leaving dinner just killed me. Watch this.
Let the wind. Well, it's down here, right?
Yeah, no, it's one more up and to the right.
They're just walking through the streets of Miami, and I don't know why this particularly killed me, but they're walking by a North Italia, and I'm like, are you gonna go in for like some spicy vodka pasta? Like, is that on Clavicular's like looks maxing diet? I don't know. The thought of them being in North Italia did kill me. Anyway, now I do want to get into the internet's response and the one thing that really set everyone off, but I do have to say, like, in thinking about this whole weekend, pondering it after I consumed this content for all of you guys, it seems like Sneeko and Fuentes like actually have aura. If I'm gonna use that Gen Alpha, Gen Z, I don't even know what kind of term it is. Like it or not, there is a sense of self-assuredness and confidence with the two of them. Like Clavicular, he's trying to like hang out with him. He wants it. He wants that aura so bad, but it just ain't there. Like, unfortunately, when I look at Clavicular, I cannot get the image out of my head of him standing on books trying to appear taller while wearing chicken cutlets on his shoulders so that he seems more muscular. That is not aura. And like, do I agree with Nick Fuentes all the time? No, obviously not. I do not agree with anybody online 100% of the time, but I am sorry, the man is funny. Sue me. And this was prime entertainment. Nick Fuentes, totally sober, wearing a tie, standing in the back of a Miami club was freaking hilarious. And everyone else in that group, like, I'm sorry, like, I don't care. Not really relevant to me. They are pushing 40 years old. Their suits are too tight. You need to go home. Go home, get in your pajamas, and take your creatone. Just kidding, gentlemen. Creatone is for women, and it is definitely something that you should be adding into your routine. Creatone by Brickhouse Nutrition is made with pure creatine and patented ingredients that reshape your body so that you look leaner, trimmer, and more toned. And creatone is radically different from normal normal guy's creatine. There's no water retention, no weight gain, no bulking up, which I know is important to a lot of women. It just boosts your metabolism to help you burn fat, which is a major plus. So let's get you started with 20% off your first order. Visit tonetoday.com and use my code Cooper for your discount. Again, use my code Cooper to save 20% off at tonetoday.com. That is TONE today.com. And your body will need a good sleep after burning all of that fat and feeling so amazing, and I have the perfect mattress for you with Helix. Now, as you guys know, with having the plague last week, I spent a lot of time in bed, and comfort and quality sleep was non-negotiable, and that is where my beloved Helix mattress makes a real difference. It is genuinely, I'm not joking, it is the greatest mattress I've ever had, but don't take it from me because a Helix study found that 82% of users experience increased deep sleep, which is exactly what you want during the winter, during these cozy indoor nights. Helix makes choosing the right mattress easy with their sleep quiz, which matches you to the perfect option based on your body type, your sleep position, and all of your personal preferences. It is also the most awarded mattress brand on the market. It is tested and reviewed by trusted experts like Forbes and Wired. Shipping is free and seamless across the US with delivery straight to your door. Helix also offers the Happy with Helix guarantee, including easy returns and exchanges, plus a 120-night sleep trial and a limited lifetime warranty. Just go to helixsleep.com/bread for 27% off. Again, that is helixsleep.com/bread for 27% off. Make sure that you enter our show name after checkout so that they know we sent you. Again, that is helixsleep.com/Brett. All right, now back to the story. I've already said that I find Nick Fuentes funny, so let's just go ahead and cancel me even more here. Now, we're going to talk about the online response, because obviously all of this took place in the middle of the night on Saturday when most of us normal, sane people were warm in our beds. But once everyone woke up on Sunday morning, the internet lost their minds. Mostly because this squad, they did one specific thing. They had the club play Kanye's song that I will call NHH. And I'm sure you know what that is. And suddenly, after seeing that, everyone logged online to comment and condemn. The club responded. They put out a long statement saying that they are striving to be inclusive and they are standing against anti-Semitism. The ADL commented and made a statement. The mayor of Miami got involved, and that anti-Semitism and hate speech or the normalization of extremist ideology has no place in our Miami Beach community, our nightlife, or any public setting. And it is completely true that he thinks it has no place in Miami. That is fine. And it is true that he is taking it very seriously. In fact, he allegedly has officers going door to door in Miami checking on people who have posted things about him online on Facebook that the mayor of Miami deems anti-Semitic.
Is that your account?
I refuse to answer questions without my lawyer present. So I really don't know how to answer that question either way.
Like I said, you're not going to jail.
This is freedom of speech. This is America, right?
This mayor has even threatened to evict a movie theater for trying to play an Oscar-winning movie that he also deemed anti-Semitic. It's not helping your cause. And to that point, all of these statements, I do not think that these streamers care. They actually kind of love it. Post all you want, attempt to cancel them even more. They will only get bigger. I will give you an example. I'm thinking back to 2 years ago. I had never even heard Nick Fuentes' voice or seen clips from his show until the Daily Wire and Jeremy Boring used clips of him in the presentation that they gave all of us employees after they fired Candace, which is not proprietary information. Steven Crowder leaked that information recently, but I only heard from him, I only saw clips because people were using him as this negative example. And the funny memes and the videos that are, popping up on Instagram Reels and TikToks, they only started circulating and going viral the more that everyone freaked out about him. If Nick Fuentes is actually on this generational run, if my mom and my friends' moms are even seeing his videos and talking about him, he can thank the Streisand effect for pointing at him and going, "Don't watch, this is bad." Everyone's gonna go look and see what is actually so bad and terrible. Anyway, back to the point about the clubs and the condemning and Kanye's song. If I am not mistaken, and I am treading on treacherous territory here, but you're kind of proving the point of Kanye's song. And I'll probably get heat for this, but I don't really care at this point. On the surface, yes, you can say that this song is gross. It is disrespectful. You can say that it was made by psychotic Kanye, whatever you want. But Kanye's argument, allegedly, for releasing it was that you can rap and sing about killing and shooting people. You can hype up black on black crime. You can throw slurs at white people. You can sing the N-word, and all of that is celebrated. It wins Grammys. It is played at clubs and bars. But this song specifically gets you pulled off of Spotify. It gets you condemned by the mayor of Miami. Cernovich had a common sense take, and he said, nearly all rap music is hate speech. That was the meta of Ye's song. You can sing kill and this, beat and that, and it's rewarded and promoted. Outside of the political inflammation and all of those responses, responses. Other people online were just talking about whether this event was even cool or inspiring, whether this attempt to be perceived as cool was actually successful. And obviously, it was entertaining. It made waves. I laughed. I cringed. I'm obviously here doing an entire episode about it, but it felt influential in the way that trash TV on Bravo is influential. Like, everybody's watching, everybody's commenting, you know, we have our popcorn, but it's outlandish. It's performative and it's shallow. Like, it's certainly not healthy. We can at least say that. It's a bunch of dudes sitting around with half-naked hoes, drinking and doing drugs, busting their eardrums out, being squashed together like sardines in a sticky club where I feel like STDs are like floating through the air. That's not healthy. And I feel like a sane society should be able to say that that is not healthy. However, I will say, it is entertaining. It's entertaining due to the cast of characters and the way they're interacting and the cringe and all of that, but it is nothing that I would want my son to look up to. It is not a situation that I would want to be in. It's not a situation I would want my daughter, God forbid, to be in. But I would say the same thing about the majority of, you know, trash TV, reality TV slop that a lot of Americans consume. And it seems like there are a lot of people online who are being holier than thou that are not able to laugh at any of this. Like, I feel like people have lost their sense of humor online, which is wild because just a few years ago, we were attacking the left and saying, you guys, you have no sense of humor anymore. Comedy's dead. You're not edgy. You're not cool. And then I look at the political right and everybody's clutching their pearls over everything. Like, do you not scroll on TikTok? Have you never watched an episode of The Bachelor or seen, you know, housewives throwing shoes at each other? Have you never watched, what's that crazy Netflix show where it's a bunch of like sex addicts trying not to sleep with each other? Like, you can find something funny without being morally or ideologically aligned with every aspect of it. And obviously, yes, we can argue about whether that is good for society or not. I would argue that it is not. But do not pretend like you are holier than thou and like you have not indulged in something like this. And then the last thing I'll say, to try to leave this on a more positive note, is that it does seem like there is like a streamer war on my timeline right now, just like fighting for my attention, because on one hand, I'm seeing clips of Clavicular with a double D Miami baddie sitting on his lap, and then I'm seeing Kai Cenat, who looks so sweet and pure, and he has a new YouTube channel where he is reading out loud to try to better his vocabulary and his articulation. And he has millions of eyes on this new account where he's going to the gym and telling his audience how great he feels. He's committing himself to his new passion, which is this fashion line that he's creating. He's learning how to sew so that he can really understand everything from the ground up. I'm seeing iShowSpeed, who I definitely have made fun of in the past. He's the one that set off fireworks in his home, but he's basically becoming Gen Alpha's National Geographic as he tours Africa and is showing his audience a completely new world, and he actually seems interested and engaged in learning about history and culture. Now, obviously, one of those might be entertaining, might be more like reality TV, but the other is certainly better for our culture at large.